I'm Big Belly.
And I'm Bumbles.
And together we're
Big Belly Bumbles.
See you later.
Big Belly Bumbles. Well, good morning, everybody. This is Sunday afternoon. It is about 12:40 p.m. It is January the 12th, 2025. And yes, we did go to church this morning. We just got back from church this morning. And Stephen kind of wants to give an update on some things. There's a lot of conversation going on our channel. In fact, the video that we just now uploaded last night has over 650 views. It has, I think 36 watch hours. It's brought in 3 new subscribers, and it's a 7-minute video, and it's generating conversation. The video I posted last night is generating conversation, and there's been a lot of discussion going on in the comments. And Stephen, let's talk about that. Let's talk about the video that seems to be doing very well, and what kind of conversation is happening, and what's your response to that conversation?
Well, I don't want to talk about the video itself, but there was questions and comments that were made, and not just on this video, but throughout time. So I just wanted to explain why it is that I actually work on my own equipment. And I started driving truck professionally. I actually learned in the late 70s. And I dabbled and dabbled throughout the 80s. And in 92, I became a truck driver professionally in 92. And 21 years ago, I believe it was, 20 years ago, I became an owner-operator. Well, I've always been mechanically inclined. I started mechanicking when I was 7 years old. My dad bought me my first motorcycle and said, "Here you go, boy. You want this motorcycle? Fix it." And that led to the journey of me building a lot of things since that day. But when I got my first truck, it was a 96 Peterbilt 379. I'd always wanted one, and that's what I got. But I got a piece of junk. pretty much with what I got now. And so I was intimidated by the fact that it was a semi-truck, and I've worked on everything but semi-trucks. And so I made sure that I took it to the shops and got it worked on, and I would work on the little things. And well, that was 20 years ago, and I ended up losing that truck. It dropped. I took it into a shop and had the valves adjusted, and when I got it back, it got bad fuel mileage and it didn't seem to run right. And I made a trip to California, and it had caught on fire in a snowstorm, and I had to put it in the shop for a week and got it back. And on my way back from California, it dropped a valve in the number 6 cylinder, and when it did that, it just grenaded. It was bad. So I let that truck go, and financially that really hurt us really bad. And so after I had let it go, I went through a lot of soul searching, because one of the things I had to do was think that, why was I so intimidated by it being a semi-truck and being a bigger motor when I've always worked on all kinds of motors? And so when I got my next truck a couple years later, I got a 2007 Peterbilt. It was just broke 500,000 miles. Most beautiful truck I've ever had. It was a red Peterbilt with purple metal flake in it. It was a beautiful truck. Maybe if Ricky wants, you could put a picture of it. But I had to have eye surgery, and I ended up losing it. Couldn't finish the payments. So when I recovered from the eye surgery, I got another truck, and it was pretty much like the red one, but as far as the shell of it, it was an '05 Peterbilt that had just went through an overhaul. Had about 300,000. So see, I know that sounds like but 300,000 is a pretty fresh motor in the diesel world. And so they had about 300,000 on an overhaul and new rears in it. Other than that, the doors wouldn't shut. It had nicotine rolling down the walls. It was just putrid. I mean, it was filthy. I got bug bites in it the first trip home, which was overnight, and it was just awful. Nothing really worked on the dash. It was just horrible. The clutch went out on it the first day. It was just horrible. And so instead of being, and it is intimidating. It was very intimidating to work on something you've never worked on before. But at this point, before I ever went back to getting another truck, I'd already decided that I would learn how to work on them. And so I worked on that white Pete, and I worked on it and worked on it and worked on it. And everything that I did, I was doing it for the first time, as far as diesel mechanics or large truck. And when that truck was paid off, I had a 36-month payment plan on it, along with a brand new Mack trailer straight out of the factory. And I paid them both off early, because I really hustled and got them paid off early. Because of the issues that we have with our son, I decided to sacrifice the truck and the trailer and come off the road to deal with the family issues. And I really wished I hadn't done it, but my family had to come first. And so, but I wanted to say, before I let that truck go, that truck was a garbage can compared to the red truck. But when I let it go, it was comparable to the red truck. I mean, it was a beautiful truck. I had put a lot of work into that truck. Maybe Ruthie can put a picture up of it. And when I let it go, Ruthie, I was nearly in tears watching it go down the driveway.
In fact, that was our very first YouTube video. That was our first YouTube video of it.
I was nearly in tears.
Well, you were
about
in tears.
That, and to watch it go down the road. But again, my family had to come first. And so that's when we started YouTubing and started Big Belly Rebuilds. And that's when I had no desire to have any Harleys or motorcycles. I had stopped riding them when I was in my 20s, and I wrapped my leg around a stop sign. And it took a few years for me to get all my surgeries and recover from it. And I hadn't had a motorcycle since. But I needed to support my family, so I started this business, Big Belly Rebuilds, and buying, fixing, and selling Harleys. But then the election happened.
And COVID.
COVID happened, the election happened, and so I couldn't even get it off the ground. Here in the state of Kentucky, they required that you have to have a dealership license, and the dealership license required that you had to have so many things in place: the land, the lot, bathroom, everything that we have here, the RV, the shop, the land, everything was for the business, was added to start that business, but it never took off. And when it didn't take off, I had to do what I knew how to do, and so I got my third truck. And the third truck, I was actually looking for a truck that was a Coronado. And when I called up about the Coronado, the guy said that it was gone. But in the picture, I could see the truck of a picture of another truck sitting next to it. And I go, "What is the other truck?" And he said, "Oh, that's my personal truck." I said, "So what are you doing about that? What are you doing with that?" And he was telling me how he was having eye problems. He couldn't drive no more. That was his baby and that he would never let it go. Well, when he started talking like that, that really had my interest. Well, I worked on him and talked to him for hour upon hour. And eventually he agreed to sell it to me. And, you know, believe it or not, that truck was a very nice truck. This guy had taken care of that thing, and he did all the maintenance. When I got it, all I had to do was clean up the interior because he had a dog, and I'm allergic to dogs. And so when I got it, I took the whole interior out and redid the interior from black and gray to red and black. And it turned out pretty sharp. So maybe Ruthie can show you the pictures. But anyway, so I had very little to do. I just had to do the upkeep once I got that truck up and going on the road. But the point is, so this was my last 20 years. I kind of balled it up in this little video right here. This is my last 20 years as far as being an owner-operator, some of the stuff that I've went through. But during this time, ladies and gentlemen, anytime I've ever taken my truck to the shop, I've come out the big-time loser over it. I've paid them the high dollars that they demand, anywhere from $175 to $250 an hour. If they charge you thousands of dollars, or I have bills around here where they charge me $1,500 for cleaning supplies in a truck. What, they change the U-bolts? What do they need $1,500 of cleaning supplies for? And then they charged me $5,000 to change 4 U-bolts, and the U-bolts didn't cost me $200. And while they did that, they destroyed other things while doing it. And the U-bolts that they put in it were that much too long, and to make up for it, they put a stack of washers underneath it. And this is a professional Kenworth shop. And this is the kind of things that I deal with at these professional shops that charge you multi-thousands of dollars to do the job, and I end up getting bent over and ended up with more problems, with valves dropping into my motor, with U-boats not put in place, be in a motel room for weeks at a time waiting for them to get it done, and just so many times I came out a loser, and ended up with a truck with more problems, and it was just to the point that I had to say no more. And when I said no more, I decided I would take my money, and I would take my time, and I would take whatever mechanical abilities that God gave me, and I would spend my time at my home with my family while I worked on the truck and figured out how to work on it, because it would obviously be something I've never done before, but I would figure it out and I would fix it myself, that I wasn't going to have anything more to do with any kind of shop. And once I made that choice years ago, back when I had that first white pea, the second white pea, I've been working on my stuff ever since. Now, things don't always go great when you're working out in the dirt and the gravel. Sometimes you have to deal with weather, ice and snow. And I'm 62, and I don't get around in the ice and snow very good. When it's super duper cold out there, and I'm talking in the 20s and the winds at 6 degrees, I'm like plastic. I'm not very pliable, and it makes it hard for me to start moving around, and I get hurt and stuff. Muscles hurt, and I can only handle so much, and so I don't get full days of work out here. And the weather is a big deal with, when you're working out there in the mud. And so, but I'm going to get it done. And but the reason why I brought this up is that we had a comment where a guy at the shop said, well, if you just brought it and paid us professionals, we would have had it done already. I agree. You probably would have had it done, but here's the thing. I would have been out all that money that you fixed, whatever the issue was at the time, which was the driveline. But that being said, I've taken my trucks to shops before, and the only thing they're going to fix is what you take it in there to the truck for the shop to fix. They're not going to do like I do, and I get up under there and I go, oh wow, this is shot, and oh wow, this needs to be fixed, and oh wow, this is going to go out pretty soon too, and oh wow, that needs to be fixed. And in other words, I'm going to look at every single thing there is underneath this truck, and I'm going to figure out, whoa, how long is that going to last? Does this need to be repaired? What about that? What about that hose there? It's chafing, and it looks like it'd probably blow out when I get out on the road. That'd be real nice, being in the middle of a winter storm with no air pressure. Yeah, that'd be great, and stuff like that. Or how about a fuel line break, and and all those kind of things. And notice the mechanic shop ain't going to get up under there and do an inspection like that and try to fix everything for me. They're going to fix all what you brought it there to fix, and that's it. And they're going to charge you out the wazoo to do it. And so, while I have it here in the yard, I am learning this truck from bumper to bumper. As I work on it, I'm learning about this truck. What is this truck? Where does it have wear? What needs to be replaced? What needs to be worked on? And that takes a lot of time. And you're replacing things as you go. You're not just at a directive, oh, I got to fix the driveline. Yeah, I had to fix the driveline, but I want to know everything of what the driveline's connected to and everything else. And the whole truck. I want to know about the whole truck. I don't want to fix a driveline and something else break. I want to be done with it. When I leave out of here, I want it to be like, hey, I got assurance that this truck is going to be just fine. Now, there's things that you just can't be you can't do anything about it. Things are going to break, you're going to break. But you can do what you can do to make yourself secure when you get out there on the road. You don't want to be out there knowing that you neglected something. You don't want to be out there going, I wonder. Because you're the guy that was up under there working on it, and you know this thing from bumper to bumper. So if anything breaks, then, you might want to get on your knees and pray, because if it was beyond you in the first place, So I want to know my truck. I want to know that I have a good, safe piece of equipment. And if it takes me a month to 2 months to get it all put together and get it out on the road to be what it needs to be, and if it costs me 30 grand to do it, then that's what I'm going to do. I could have paid a shop the money to get the driveline in, but then what about the rest of the truck? And then the truck would live in a shop and I wouldn't be making any money anyway. And so I don't have anything against you guys that work in trucks for a living. More power to you. But I'm not taking my truck to a shop to get bent over anymore. And I will take the time and I will learn my own truck and I will learn how to fix it myself. And I struggle to do it. I guarantee you I struggle. I really, really do. But I'm going to get it done. And that's all I wanted to say. And hopefully you guys have a great weekend. God bless. And later.